101 years old. This morning I did 10 push-ups. Used to be 50, but I'm not 20 anymore, so 10 it is. Then I ate breakfast. Same breakfast I've eaten for 60 years. Then I sat down here to talk to you. I spent 30 years running the nutrition program at a veterans hospital. Before that, I was an Army nurse in Korea. I have watched more people die than most of you will ever meet. And I can tell you something your doctor probably won't, because your doctor has 11 minutes with you and a prescription pad and a waiting room full of people. Most of you are not sick because of bad luck. You are sick because of what you put in your mouth every single day, and nobody around you has been honest enough to say it out loud. I'm saying it. I want to tell you about Margie Kowalski. Margie and I met in 1951 at an Army field hospital outside of Seoul. She was the best nurse I ever worked beside, steadiest hands I've ever seen. Woman could start an IV in the dark during artillery fire and never flinch. Sharp as a tack, funny as the dickens, and absolutely relentless. We survived things together that I will not describe to you. That kind of experience bonds people for life. We stayed close for 50 years after the war, raised our kids on opposite ends of the same state, called each other every Sunday night without fail. But Margie and I lived differently. I cooked. Margie didn't. She thought cooking was a chore to be avoided. Hospital cafeteria food for 30 years. Then fast food when she retired because, she said, it was easier. She'd laugh about it. Dot, you and your vegetables. You're like a rabbit. She meant it affectionately. I watched Margie slow down in her late 60s. Thought it was just age. Then at 73 she called me, and she couldn't remember the word, for she kept saying, the thing you hold the phone with. She meant her hand. By 75 she couldn't drive. By 77 her daughter Carol was calling me instead of Margie calling me herself. I flew out to see her in the spring of 2003. She was sitting in a chair by the window. I walked in and I said, Margie, it's Dot. I came to see you. She looked at me with those same blue eyes I'd known for 50 years, and she said, I don't think I know you. I held it together until I got to the parking lot. Margie died at 79. Her brain had simply quit. The doctors said dementia. I say she starved it. Slowly, over decades, one convenient meal at a time. I drove home from that funeral and I thought, nobody is going to watch me go like that, not if I have anything to say about it. I already knew what I was doing, I just did it harder after Margie. Now, here are my 7 rules. These aren't tips, they're not suggestions. I ran a hospital nutrition program for 30 years, and I watched what happened to people who followed them and people who didn't. You can do what you want with this information, but you asked. Rule 1, eat real food, not food-shaped products. Margie used to eat things that came in crinkly bags with ingredient lists longer than a military supply manifest. I don't buy anything with an ingredient I can't pronounce. If it needs a laboratory to exist, it doesn't go in my body. My mother cooked from scratch. Her mother cooked from scratch. I cook from scratch. My grocery cart looks boring. I am 101 years old, and I did 10 push-ups this morning, so I'm keeping the boring cart. Rule 2, eat your vegetables like it's your job, because it is. Every single meal. Not as a side dish you push around the plate, as the main event. I eat dark leafy greens every day, collards, spinach, whatever's in season. I eat sweet potatoes. I eat beets. I eat things that stain your fingers. The patients I watched decline fastest had the most beige plates, everything tan, everything soft, everything processed. Your brain needs color. Feed it color. Margie's favorite vegetable was the pickle on a fast food burger. I am not joking. Rule 3. Walk every day. No exceptions. No negotiations. I have walked every single day since 1958. Rain, snow, bad knees, grief didn't matter. You lace up and you go. 20 minutes minimum. The body was designed to move. You stop moving and it starts shutting down systems it thinks you don't need anymore. I've seen it happen in the wards. Patients who stayed sedentary declined twice as fast as patients who moved. Your legs are your second heart. Use them. There was a veteran I treated, Corporal Briggs, stubborn as a mule, refused to walk his recovery laps, said it hurt too much. I told him, "Corporal, everything hurts. Walk anyway." He walked. He went home. The man in the next bed didn't walk. He didn't go home. I'm not saying that to be cruel. I'm saying it because it's true. Rule 4. Sleep like it's sacred, because it is. I go to bed at 9:30. I have gone to bed at 9:30 since 1971. People laugh at me for that. Those same people wonder why they can't think straight, why they're exhausted, why they keep forgetting things. Your brain cleans itself while you sleep. That is not a metaphor. It is a biological fact. If you're not sleeping, you're not cleaning. 30 years of watching neurological decline. And I will tell you this, the people who bragged about not needing sleep were often the first ones I saw coming back through my ward doors. Rule 5. Cut the sugar, most of it, almost all of it. I am not going to tell you never have a piece of birthday cake. I'm 101, not a monk. But the sugar that is hiding in everything you buy, the sauces, the breads, the yogurts, the drinks that claim to be healthy, that sugar is doing damage so slow you don't feel it until it's too late to reverse. I watched a generation of veterans come through my program eating what they thought was reasonable food and drowning in hidden sugar. Their inflammation markers were through the roof. I cut refined sugar in 1969 and I haven't missed it once. You adjust, your taste buds recalibrate within 2 weeks. You start tasting food the way food actually tastes. Rule 6. Drink water, just water, more than you think you need. I drink 8 glasses a day, minimum. I have done this since Korea, where dehydration could kill a man faster than a bullet on a hot day. Most people walking around are chronically mildly dehydrated, and they've felt that way so long they think it's normal. It is not normal. It is you running an engine without enough oil and being surprised when things start grinding. Your coffee is fine. Your tea is fine. But neither of them replaces water, and neither of them is what your kidneys want. Rule 7. Eat with other people whenever you can. This one surprised even me when I finally understood it. The patients who ate alone, every meal, alone, they declined faster, not just emotionally, cognitively. The act of sharing a meal forces you to be present, to talk, to laugh, to argue about something. Margie and I used to have the most ridiculous arguments over Sunday dinners when we visited each other. I cherish every one of them now. Eat with someone, even if it's just once a day. I want to go back to that room for a moment. That spring afternoon in 2003. I sat with Margie for 2 hours after she said she didn't know me. I held her hand. Her daughter Carol sat across from us, not saying much. At one point, Margie looked at our hands together and she smiled. Just a small smile, like something felt familiar even if her brain couldn't name what it was. That was all I got, one small smile from 50 years of friendship. Carol walked me to my car afterward. She was quiet for a long time. Then she said, "She used to talk about you, you know. In the earlier stages when she could still talk. She'd say, 'Dot always tried to get me to eat better. I always thought I'd get around to it.' She thought she'd get around to it. I have thought about that sentence almost every day since. Getting around to it is the luxury of people who believe they have unlimited time. You do not have unlimited time. Margie didn't. She was the finest nurse I ever worked beside, and her brain dissolved because she ate convenience food for 30 years and thought she'd get around to changing. I eat the way I eat because I watched the sharpest woman I knew forget how to say my name. That's the whole reason. That's all of it. Here is what I know. After 101 years and 30 years in that hospital, your body is not a machine that breaks down from the outside. It is a system that you feed or you starve, slowly over decades, with every single choice you make at every single meal. The damage is invisible until it isn't, and by the time it isn't, it is very often too late to undo. You are not eating food. You are casting a vote 3 times a day for who you are going to be at 75. Cast it accordingly. If you are watching this right now and you are eating something out of a wrapper, I want you to look at it. Just look at it. Read the ingredients. Count how many you recognize. That's your homework. 1 minute, just look. I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm asking you to stop pretending the choices don't add up. They do. They always do. I watched them add up for 30 years in hospital beds. You probably have someone in your life right now who is starting to slow down, starting to repeat themselves, starting to forget small things, and you're telling yourself it's just age. Maybe it is, but maybe it's 30 years of beige food and no movement and 5 hours of sleep and a body that has been running on empty for so long it's starting to cannibalize itself. Start this week, not next Monday, this week. Cook 1 meal from scratch. Walk for 20 minutes. Go to bed an hour earlier than you did last night. Eat something green. Drink a glass of water before your coffee. That's it. That's the whole assignment. You don't have to become me. I am 101 years old, and I do 10 push-ups, and frankly that is not for everyone. But you can do better than you're doing right now. Most of you know exactly what I mean by that. Now, I have talked long enough and I have push-ups to finish. 10 doesn't sound like much, I know. Used to be 50, but I'm still getting down on the floor and I'm still getting back up, and at 101 that counts for something. Margie would have laughed at me for the push-ups. She would have laughed and then she would have eaten a pickle and told me to relax. I miss her every single day. Go eat something your grandmother would recognize, and for heaven's sake, go to bed at a decent hour. I'll see you next time.